Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Coming to Your Sofa. And I am absolutely delighted and really excited this evening because I am joined by two very, very special people. We are joined by our friends Dawn and Arjun. Arjun live from India, from the Ganges too. Hi guys, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Great, thanks, Martin. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Oh, do you know, I've been so excited about this because this is something totally special, and it's an evening in India, and we're going to bring India to life with you guys. And I'll tell you, I've been on the phone. I've ordered my takeaway. I've got a glass of wine ready, and I'm just so excited. I really am. So I'm going to hand you over to Dawn and Arjun, who these guys will bring this adventure, this amazing bucket list experience to life for you. I couldn't do it, and I'm sure at the end of this, you will be going, Martin, get me on this tour, get me booked now. So, guys, I'll hand over to you, and we'll be back with you shortly. Guys, if you've got any questions, remember, down the bottom, post your comments, and we'll answer them at the end of the show. Not the end of the show, see what am I like? We'll answer them at the end of the presentation. Guys, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Martin. We do really appreciate it. I'm going to share my screen now. Let's just have a look. So you should be able to see my screen. So we're really, really pleased to be able to do this with Martin. Martin's an old friend. I've got my holiday booked with him as well. We've seemed to cross paths all of our career, really. So when Martin gave me a call and said that he wanted to do this, I knew the itinerary that would be fabulous. And speaking to Arjun, who is our guru, India, it just seemed perfect. So I'll just talk you through the presentation that we've got, not death by PowerPoint. I'm just going to give you a little overview of who Uniworld are, and then Arjun is going to immerse you into all about India and why you should travel to India and why is it unique. And just every time we talk about it, it makes me want to go, and I'm sad that we can't travel at the minute, but let's get these plans in place for the future. So yeah, just wanted to say, Martin, thank you so much for the opportunity tonight, and Arjun and myself are really looking forward to spending the evening with you talking about the unique Uniworld tour and cruise of India. I have to say, this is, out of all the itineraries that we have, is the most immersive tour that we have. It's bucket list. I know that I haven't been away for 2 years, and I'm an avid cruiser. My little boy learned to walk on an ocean ship. So with everything going on, I think we're all looking for that something special. We want to book a holiday, that creates memories, and this trip to India just does that. It's a holiday where you wouldn't necessarily do yourself, and the reason for that is because you wouldn't want to miss anything. This has everything, all the best bits of India all together, because it is a tour and a cruise. It truly is one of a kind, with highlights of seeing the Taj Mahal, not just once, twice, immersing yourself in local culture, and a spiritual cruise along the sacred Ganges River on your floating hotel. So recently, and in the travel industry, we talk about her all the time. So Jane Mcdonald did this exact tour. So you can actually catch up on this, and you can see it. It was a 2-part series, but on Channel 5 at the moment. You can go and watch this, and you can go and see her take this tour. She actually gets a little bit upset because she enjoyed it so much, and it touched her heart as well. So why don't you grab a cup of tea and also watch that Jane Mcdonald in the future as well. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time just telling you about Uniworld. You might not know an awful lot about us. And then I'm going to hand over to Arjun and then give you some details on Martin's exclusive tours. And then we can have a chat all together, answer any questions that you might have. So who are we? Who are Uniworld? Uniworld is part of the TTC group, which is the travel corporation. It's a debt-free company, family-owned, started by Mr. and Mrs. Tolman, who are actively involved, and the family have over 100 years' experience. We started with one hotel in South Africa with the ethos of excellent service, looking after our guests as family, nurturing staff and supporting the local environment, both in the short term and in the long term. From that one hotel, they now have over 40 different brands and employ over 10,000 people. They have hotels all throughout the world, which I'm really missing going to at the moment, especially the ones in London. So we've got 5 hotels in London, 12 Apostles in South Africa, Ashford Castle in Ireland. We have a brand new safari lodge in Africa. The Uniworld are the only river cruise company who has its heritage from hospitality. So whatever happens on our 5-star hotels is replicated on our floating boutique river ships. So just why Uniworld, all river cruise companies are fantastic, all offering something different. And what's unique about Uniworld is, I'll just go through just a few of the points. So the high standards, everything we do is all about our guests, and it's all about the detail. That's why the FIFO scores are so high, 4.8 out of 5. And this is voted by our past guests. And that's why customers come back to us time after time. In fact, we've got a customer, a valued customer that has travelled with us 45 times. He's really missing being on board at the moment. All of our ships are one of a kind. They're a boutique river ship. We've actually got 21 in total, and they're positioned all around the world. The majority are in Europe, then India, Southeast Asia, Egypt, and new for us, the Amazon as well. Each ship is one of a kind, designed for the region that she sails in. So clients don't just come back to us for the itinerary, but want to experience different ships as well. The spectacular views and the decors might change, but one thing that remains the same, which is the outstanding service by the crew. And that leads me on to outstanding service. So when you get on board one of our ships, the first thing you'll see is a welcoming smile, and you'll be greeted by a glass of bubbles. The staff are also authentic, and this will be your home for the next 7 days. The Uniworld mantra is no request too large and no detail too small, and this is very true. Culinary excellence. So this makes me hungry even thinking about it. With Uniworld, all the food is sourced locally and it's fresh. So you might want this opportunity to try something different that you've not tried before while drinking a lovely glass of wine that's been paired to your food by your sommelier. But if you still wanted maybe to that day you fancy chicken or a salad, we can do that as well. We cater for individual needs. The staff on board the River Ganges too are baristas, so you could have a fantastic coffee, but you could also have a freshly squeezed orange juice. It's all included. So we are truly all inclusive. With Uniworld, there's nothing else to think about. From your flights that are included, transfers to the ship, the wonderful 5-star locally sourced food that we've just talked about, your drinks, gratuities, Wi-Fi. And the very best thing is all of the tours that are included as well. So it's tailor-made on the water. So there's a number of different tours that you can choose from, or you might want to stay on the ship. That's absolutely up to you. You've got all these opportunities to try different things. What actually I would say about Uniworld is do it your way. What you fancy doing, and looking at the itinerary, then you can choose which excursion that you want to take, or even stay on the fantastic ship if you wanted to, or explore the local culture as well. So well-being, so we have new protocols in place, with a whole new world at the moment. And I know Arjun's going to talk to you in more detail about these. Uniworld work closely with CLEAR, the WTTC and WHO, when we endorse all the procedures. In fact, Uniworld have less guests on board, ensuring we have more space. So we create a sense of space on the ships. We have less guests on board as well. The river cruise industry already works together, practicing implementing the high standards, and everyone will continue to build on this. So small, immersive, intimate tours. As mentioned, our ships have fewer guests than ocean ships. For example, on the cruise and tour, we only have 56 guests. All the excursions are in small group sizes, so you can immerse yourself. This is my favourite part of river cruising, getting to meet people on board who become friends, because there aren't a lot of people on board. You can talk to people, you see people, you recognise people. And I really like it. The best part is when I get to talk to past guests as well, and they said that they've met lifelong friends, and then they've booked to go with them on their next river cruise with Uniworld as well. That really does make a difference. And then booking with confidence. As mentioned, our parent company are debt-free. We're ATOL and ABTA bonded. And if you weren't able to travel, then we do have a flexible booking policy as well. So we call our ships floating boutique hotels. And they really are unique, and it's what sets us apart. We're proud to be the most awarded river cruise line. Imagine yourself stepping on board your floating hotel for the next 7 days with the friendliest and an attentive crew, with everything included. On a river cruise, this is what makes it so special. You only unpack once, then your floating hotel takes you on the journey. Every time you look through the window, it's a different view. So our commitment to service, and this is really important to all of us, all throughout the company. So I've spoken briefly about it already, but I do feel really passionate about it, and I wanted to share a little bit more detail. The staff on board have been with the company a long time, and I think this is testament to the type of business that we are. We have a UK-based team with our head office in London, where the travel agent is core to every single thing that we do. When I first went on a few years ago, and I'm very lucky to go onto the ships quite a lot, I remember going on for the first time and being greeted by that fabulous smile. And then, being from Stoke-on-Trent, I actually went to the bar, ordered a drink, and then I actually went back on to another ship a few months later, and the member of staff was the same member of staff from the previous cruise, and I sat down, and straight away my favourite gin and tonic, Tanqueray gin with a wedge of lime came straight across. I have to say, it's a memory that will stay with me forever. It was like coming home and being part of the family. So that's it from me until the end, when I tell you about our special offers that we've got with Martin. I'm going to hand you over to Arjun, who is the Chief Inspiration Officer for the Ganges too. I'm going to hand over to you, Arjun.
Great, thanks, Dawn. Thank you for that wonderful introduction.
So now we're just about to play a video.
Namaste. Hi there, my name's Arjun, and I'm from India and the Ganges Voyager too. It's really great to meet you today. I've come to share with you a story, an incredible journey, not just one of the most special river cruises in the world, a transformative journey of mind, body, and soul, the ultimate Indian experience.
For centuries, wanderers have journeyed to Indian riverbanks seeking knowledge and wisdom and returned home to tell of their vast riches. But also the challenges of the great distances, access to culture and places to stay. And so their challenges are now our bounty as we access these hidden peoples and landscapes for great cultural immersion through some of the most luxurious hotels and river cruise in the world. From Delhi, the ancient and modern cities that make the capital of India, to Agra, the Taj Mahal, at sunrise and sunset, an incredible architectural monument to love. We proceed to the capital of the state of Rajasthan, the land of kings, the World Heritage Pink City of Jaipur. Famous for its fantastic palaces, vibrant markets, and incredible astronomical observatories. Best of all the rivers, born of all the sacred waters, the holy river Ganga. Sail away as we adventure by river aboard the handcrafted, all-sweet Ganges Voyager 2, awarded one of the 6 best river journeys in the world. Sailing by river unlocks privileged access to areas where other travelers don't visit, to great mythologies and histories forgotten in time, monuments, temples, and palaces from the ages when the river was the main highway for commodities trade. Join us on this incredible voyage, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is abundant and where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward into ever-widening thought and action, and into that heaven of freedom awake. Well, good evening, everyone. It's really wonderful to be with you here and with Martin and Dawn as well. So first, I'll start with a little bit about the background of India. As you can see, the map of India here, it's a vast country, but over thousands of years, it's been a global center for innovations from great religions and philosophies, from Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism that evolved, from health and well-being, Ayurveda and yoga, scientific advancements from muslin to microwave, from ink to rulers and to microwave communications, as well as great artisans and maverick making great pottery, finest textiles of bankrupted empires. And so India has always had this great and rich history. And so today India is a vast country, about 12 times the size of the UK. There's 29 states, 7 union territories, and 22 official languages, with 911 million eligible voters spread across this vast land, and with these great and rich histories. Our question was really, how can we show the best parts the country in a succinct way to tell the story of India, which has grown up along the riverbanks, with the rivers being the threads, the silk threads tying through all these great history and innovations. And so that's how we came about to create this ultimate Indian experience. So we have a wonderful 5 nights land program through what's known as the Golden Triangle of Delhi, Agra, and Jaipur. And this is followed by a 7 nights immersive cruise along the lower Ganges aboard the Ganges Voyager 2. So on the land, we see the most famous and grand monuments, Old and New Delhi, Agra and the Taj Mahal, as well as Jaipur, the World Heritage Pink City. And flying to Kolkata, which was the British imperial capital, has a great grand illustrious history. Then we sail along the Ganges. Now these are the areas which grew up before the railways, when the river was the main highway for trade in opium, in indigo, tea, and textiles. And so there's a great history of people coming to these areas along the river to trade. Being, of course, part of the Ganges Delta, the soil is rich and fertile, and there's abundance of natural produce, which led to skilled artisans creating wonderful textiles and crafts. And so the traders who came, they came from other parts of India, they came from Armenia, they came from Europe. And so there are European trading enclaves as well, which established along this area. And so in one program to seamlessly combine in 5 nights land and 7 nights cruise, this wonderful journey, staying in the best accommodation. On land, we stay in the Oberoi hotels. So it's an Indian brand amongst the best in the world, followed by the Ganges Voyager 2, which is a handcrafted ship made in Kolkata. And so both the areas really, every aspect is a 360-degree interface with the local peoples, culture, and cuisine. So starting off in the Oberoi, New Delhi, this is a place where families for generations have had afternoon tea. Every room is like a Rolls Royce, and the air inside is cleaner than Switzerland. It's a really wonderfully centrally located bastion to explore the great monuments and cultures of Delhi. Delhi, which has a great history as being the focal point for politics for control of the subcontinent, and has the Mughal city, which has been there, as well as the British capital, which it was later on. And so we explored those living histories which are there. You've got the Red Fort and the Jama Masjid in Old Delhi. You've got the memorial to Mahatma Gandhi, one of India's freedom fighters and founding fathers. We take cycle rituals through the old market of Old Delhi. You see the different traders buying and selling their wares. There are different shops, people from all over West Asia, East Asia, who've come over the hundreds of years, set up their trading stands there. And so as we navigate these tight alleyways going through, that's really a wonderfully immersive experience into the throbbing heartbeat of Old Delhi. There's also Humayun's tomb, a wonderfully designed tomb for Emperor Humayun, which was a precursor to the Taj Mahal, which we see later on in the program. It's really a wonderful feature of architecture. From Delhi now we see to Agra. We said the Oberoi Amar Vilas. Every room has a view of the Taj Mahal, and even the Grand Tea Terrace has a wonderful terrace overlooking the Taj. And so to go to bed and wake up in the morning with the beautiful view of the Taj Mahal there is really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And so we take electric buggies early in the morning, evening, to see the Taj Mahal at sunset. And so to see the sunset as the light falls on the different shining marble, it's really wonderful and magical. And when you go there and walk through those gardens at that time, to see the Taj Mahal for the first time in that light, that strikes the heart and really something which stirs the soul. And what's even more, what's very special in this itinerary is that not only do we go in the evening, we also go the next day in the sunrise to see the sunrise light which is going over the Taj Mahal as well. And so to see the Taj Mahal in these 2 different lights, to go there, that's really a life-changing experience. And afterwards, there's the optional excursion to see the marble inlay workers who still carry on the tradition of detailed gemstone inlaying into the marble today. And so to see those close up on the actual monument itself, these beautiful different reliefs or different vegetation and different wildlife, and to see that tradition is still carried on today, that's a unique aspect. And so from Agra, we proceed to Jaipur, the capital of Rajasthan. And we stay in the Oberoi Rajvilas, a beautiful property spread throughout a large garden with a 300-year-old temple right in the center. And this is the spacious locale to explore Jaipur, the princely capital of Rajasthan. And this is called the Pink City, having been painted for the visit, for one of the royal visits in the 19th century. And so as a planned city under a monarch, it's compared to St. Petersburg as a beautifully modern city with wide boulevards and with sort of different architectural features on there. And so we explore the different palaces. This is the Hawa Mahal, the Palace of the Winds. There's also the City Palace Museum. They have two of the largest single pieces of silver in the world. These are urns for carrying tons of Ganges water to London at the turn of the 20th century for the Maharaja. So that really shows, even though you're far away from the Ganges itself and in the desert, that the Ganges water was so important to the Maharaja. We also see the wonderful astronomical observatories which are commissioned there. And Jaipur is known as a world center for different handicrafts, for gemstones and jewelry. And so to also see those different aspects of block printing and the local designs which are made, there's an optional visit to the bazaar in the afternoon there. If people want to explore and to see those handicrafts, that's also possible. And so having seen this wonderful golden triangle staying in the Oberoi properties and seeing these wonderfully famous monuments, which are fantastic, they're also very touristy and very well known. Now we fly to Kolkata, we board the ship and we set sail. And this is how the River Ganges looks. It's pristine, it's clean, there's river dolphins, there's a lot of bird life, and it's very natural. And it's a wonderful experience to be on the water and sailing through the different countryside. And the real privilege and pleasure of as we're sailing is that this is not a touristy area at all. So every day as we're sailing, we're seeing the true, authentic nature of the country without mass tourism, without shopping, and without anyone trying to bother you along the way. And most of the time, we're really sailing by ourselves with the river beautifully set before and after us as we sail along. And so this is the Ganges Voyager 2, 28 suite ship, all suite ship. Every room has a French balcony view over the river there. You can see in the image, we have 3 decks. We have main and upper deck, and then the sun deck, which has different public rooms, which are there. So we have the signature and colonial suites, which are on the main and upper deck, twin or double beds. All the suites on board have French balcony, video on demand, a minibar, as well as ensuite bathroom. And each of the room has different designs and handcrafted furniture and different motifs painted on the wall following different themes as we go. So all the rooms are large rooms from 24 square meters here on the main and upper deck, the signature and colonial suites. We also have a larger suites with 4-poster beds, the heritage suites, which are the upper deck facing forward with large panoramic windows to see the rivers we're sailing along, and the Maharaja suites, which are in midships, which are there with large windows there as well. So these are both large full suites with 4-poster beds, and there's 2 of each. And so the largest suite on board we have is 37 square meters. That's the Maharaja Suite. Large 4-poster bed with the large window there as well. And really the highlight of this is really the bathroom. So in the bathrooms, they all have ensuite shower, but the Maharaja Suite also has a large bathtub there as well. And that's really one of the highlights that makes this top suite on board being the largest and with the bathtub. This is the dual aspect dining room where we serve all our freshly prepared meals. We have a variety of Indian cuisine, European cuisine, and fusion cuisines, because this part of India has had different people over hundreds, thousands of years bringing their cuisine and fusing with the local flavors. Everything is prepared fresh on board every day with fresh local vegetables, fruits as well, and we prepare them in traditional styles. So using a tandoor oven for wonderful naan breads of different flavors there as well, different fish preparations. And every recipe, every meal has a story behind it as we're sailing along to explore the history through gastronomy. That's a wonderful aspect of the cruise. And so we have different vegetarian dishes, but different non-vegetarian dishes as well. And so being a small ship with only a limited number of people, we're really able to create wonderfully flavorsome and visually interesting dishes. This is the sun deck, where we have a large, spacious outdoor lounge and sunbed area. And so every day the flower arrangements change following different Pan-Asian styles along the way through the different areas of the ship. We have 2 spa rooms with Ayurvedic and European treatments for massage, as well as a gym for working out for fitness. This is the indoor lounge, where we have different port talks, lectures and discussions. We have tea and coffee tastings. And this is really where we come to enjoy the day, to look out on both sides of the ship, what's going on, as well as it's directly adjacent to the outdoor lounge. It's a wonderfully integrated public space on the sun deck to spend the day and watch the world go by, as well as have discussions on the different themes and explore the different histories and cultures, the landscape and the peoples we're interacting with as we sail along the river. So every day we're sailing, you can see the pristine river and the local life. The Ganges, being a sacred river, has also being a very fertile river. There's wonderful crops, depending on time of year, which are grown, from sugarcane to different onions to different crops. There are jute factories and brick kilns as well we see along there. Just very small local industry in some of the parts of the river. And so people worship the river, they bathe in it, they use it for transportation, they fish in it. So it's very much a part of life, and they look after it there as well. And so as we're sailing along, you just see these small local ships as we're meandering through the different areas. On the morning, every morning we have sunrise yoga with a yoga guru. Now this is someone who has spent a large proportion of their life learning yoga. And so even if you're not really into yoga or into that much sort of athleticism, really just to do a little bit of sunrise yoga as the ship is sailing along this holy river, that's really a magical experience. And the yoga guru also, they are also aware very much about holistic well-being and wellness. And so if people feel like they want to chat about their well-being and wellness, or things that they feel they can identify better in their lives to improve their quality of life, they're more than happy to share different thoughts and aspects of that. And so every day we have different activities on board, cultural immersion, from whether it's how to wear a sari or wear a turban, whether it's mehndi or henna, for example, the different designs. We have different dance performances by different troops showcasing the different traditional styles which we have on board. And so every day as we're sailing along, we also have a different excursion to some of these great historical places along the way. And so we only use local transport from the ship. So whether it's walking because the place is nearby, or taking cycle rickshaws, horse carts, or electric rickshaws. So in that way, we're really very much interfacing directly with the local people and the local transportation in each of those different places. In Kalna, we see these beautiful terracotta temples baked from clay taken from the Ganges River itself and hand carved with these beautiful motifs and reliefs showcasing the different mythologies. On this temple, for example, you can see wonderful story about where one of the princesses was taken to Sri Lanka by one of the demon kings with 10 heads. And so the hero has to go there with the monkey god to go and rescue her back, for example. Or you have these 108 Shiva temples in 2 concentric circles, following the Indian version of feng shui called Artavastu. So there's a lot of rich temple culture in Kalna. And so to take the cycle rituals through the town to see these beautiful temples, that's quite wonderful. But what happens next is even more interesting. We walk back through the local marketplace to see the fresh natural produce which is available there, the different crops which are in season, the items which people buy locally, and the items which we serve on the ship, the spices as well, the herbs which are there. And the shopkeepers are not interested to sell you anything, really. They're not used to tourists as such. They're more interested, who are you? Why have you come here? And so to walk back through this wonderful marketplace, that's a very much a unique experience. After Kalna, we visit Matiari. This is a village of brass makers. They take scrap metal from all over the region. They melt the scrap into brass ingots. Those ingots are plated out they're hammered out into plates, and then one by one they're each handcrafted with different designs following different family traditions. And so we go early in the morning, because they're farmers actually most of the time, but we go early in the morning and you hear the hundreds of hammers tonguing away as they do their work before they go and plough the fields. And we see who's awake, who's alert, and we go and see what's going on in the different houses. And so each family also has an ancestral plate which had been there for hundreds of years, and to learn about their craft which they've been doing, and to see the different designs and the stories behind those. And what's really unique about this is that they're not really doing a tourist performance like you see in many places. It's very much the natural work they're doing, and we get the privilege of just seeing what they're doing in their day-to-day life. After Matiari, we visit Mashidabad. This is one of the big highlights, really. This is the Thousand-Door Palace, a yellow Doric column palace right on the banks of the Ganges there, a wonderful museum. And so this was the palace for the rulers of this area. And it was designed by a Scotsman who couldn't imagine rooms without fireplaces. So he put fake fireplaces in the rooms to make sure that he felt that he did justice to create a wonderful palatial feel. And it's called the Thousand-Door Palace because it has 1,000 doors. Some are real, some are fake, again, to give the illusion of this kind of grand palace which is there. And so this is really one of the highlights of the experience. Now, as we sail back towards Kolkata, we turn back towards Kolkata now. We visit a place called Mayapur. Now, you may have heard of the Hare Krishnas, the ISKCON movement. So this is the birthplace of their founder. And so they're building one of the largest temples in the world there, which will be amongst the largest temples, religious places in the world. And so we walk through the local Pilgrims Bazaar to see the different markets and items and pilgrims who are there. And then we walk through and we see the different devotion worship which goes on, and to see parts of the temple which have finished construction. So that's really, once it's finished, it's been under construction for many years. It'll be one of the global centers. And it's as large as St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, as you can see. And so it really puts the Ganges and Mayapur on the place for one of the world's best pilgrimage centers. As we head now back towards Kolkata, we visit one of the trading outposts of European powers, Chandanagar, which was a French colonial enclave. You have the old governor's mansions, a beautiful museum with Marianne there in front to the colonial history. There's a wonderful yellow boulevard on the waterfront, a Sacré-Cœur cathedral. And this is a place where there was a guillotine operating until, I think, 1895 at the latest. So this was very much a French enclave right up until even independence, after when it joined the Indian Union. And so again, it's a place with a different culture and a different sense of feeling of being on the river as well. So finally, we will end up in Kolkata. So we go early in the morning. We see one of said to be Asia's largest wholesale flower market, a whole kilometer-long street of traders buying and selling different flowers and for different purposes, different events. We also visit Kumatuli, which is this wonderful potter's colony, where they make different goddesses and deities for worship and for devotion. There's also the wonderful Victoria Memorial, which was built from the same marble as the Taj Mahal to remember Queen Victoria, as well as St. John's Church, which is an exact replica of St. Martin's in the Fields in Trafalgar Square, with wonderful different sort of epitaphs and different stories inside of people who survived the journey there and are buried there as well. So Kolkata has a rich history as a trading port, as being a center for artisans, and also, for example, many of the artisans who were there when this was the British imperial capital formed what was known as the Bengali Renaissance zeitgeist. And so the first non-European who won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913, Rabindranath Tagore, he was from this area and operating in these areas. And so Kolkata has had a global influence as being part of that. So really, we create throughout the cruising experience, we have very much authentic Indian hospitality with different beverages. We have locally flavored beverages we serve on board, with delicious Michelin-inspired local dining, and really to give a wonderfully homely feeling to be on board with our crew. We have around 38 crew on board, so there's a very high crew to passenger ratio, and they're really passionate about giving the best quality and the best exposure to see India differently as we see it along the cruise. Of course, with the global situation going on, it's really important to highlight some of the measures we're taking to protect our crew, our communities, our people, and our guests as well. So we have different protocols which we've been deploying on board to with frequent deep cleaning of public areas, with giving touchless service on board, and using new age disinfection techniques as there as well. But rest assured, 100% we're along the way to ensure the journey is seamless, it's smooth, and you have full support. And again, as being part of the local peoples that we're visiting and we're sailing along, we want to enhance the quality of the environment which we're part of and which we benefit from. And so we have different sustainability tools on board which we use to reduce our impact on the environment, whether it's being a plastic-free ship, for example, everyone who comes on board gets an aluminium bottle, for example, whether it's using local fresh produce along the way, whether it's using technologies to reduce pollution from whether it's from noise pollution, whether it's from no pollution entering the river, for example, as well as socioeconomically to help the communities. So, for example, children from deprived backgrounds to help them get a better education, for example. So we're very much keen and engaged on enhancing the environment people we're part of, and so that really feeds into the quality of the cruising experience and the nature of the experience as we go along the way. So really, it's our privilege to extend you an invitation to experience incredible India as we love it and has never seen before, in the footsteps of course, Jeremy Paxman, but also Jane Mcdonald, who travelled on the wonderful program on Channel 5 and really had a fantastic time there. So it's our privilege, and we're looking forward very much to seeing you on board.
Thank you, Arjun. I could listen to you all day, to be fair. It makes me just want to go. So, just to finish up, really, we work with Martin very, very closely, and he has he came to us wanting a couple of exclusives actually for his valuable clients. So we've got a couple of exclusives to show you. We've got a number of dates anyway that you can look at, but Martin's got an exclusive on 21 and 22. So on the 5th of December 2021, for the itinerary that you've just seen, which is the tour and the cruise and everything that's included as well, is Martin has an exclusive price of £4,567 per person, and that does include everything. And at the moment, for a limited time, we have a free one-way business class upgrade as well. There's also £100 onboard credit, and we do say it's all inclusive. What can you use it for? So it may be for laundry. You might want to use it for a different type of drink when you're on board. So the local drinks that are on board, but you might choose something else, maybe a different type of champagne that you can then use that for as well. There's a number of different things. The spa you could use it for as well, which is one of my favourite places. So yeah, Martin has this fantastic exclusive on 2021, from £4,567, which is a huge saving, okay, which is, over £1,300 saving. And that includes staying at the world's best hotels and your cruise as well. So that's for 2021. And for 2022, we go on the 21st of February. So it's just a different date. It's exactly the same cruise, and we've got a price there of £4,997. Again, with that one-way free business class upgrade, which you can do in either way as well. So just to finish off, really, I know we're going to have some questions and answers in a minute. It's only with Uniworld, this tour. It's bespoke, it's unique. So it includes your flights from regional airports, a free upgrade on business class one way, but you can upgrade for business class both ways, and it's not really expensive. You know, it's around about £700-800, depending on what time you go. You're staying in these world famous Oberoi hotels. You've got the land tour, as we said, Taj Mahal. It's just one part of it, really. I think we think about the Taj Mahal when we think of India, but there's so much more to it as well. And then you've got the 7-night cruise along the sacred Ganges River, which brings everything to life. It's a working river. Maybe a little bit of a spiritual cruise as well, actually. The transfers are included to the ship, gratuities, and we've said it's all inclusive as well. So just with Uniworld, everything is unique and everyone has different requirements. So if you speak to Martin and give him your details, we'll work on something bespoke just for you. It might be that you want extra days at the beginning or the end of your holiday, and we can sort that for you, along with Martin. Remember, no request is too large and no details too small. This is a once-in-a-lifetime tour and a cruise that will create the most amazing memories. And it is the most immersive tour that you won't find anywhere else. So on behalf of myself and Arjun, we just wanted to say thank you. And we're looking forward to listening and answering your questions.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. I just think, wow, it's just like, I just want to go. I really want to go. And Dawn, my bags are packed. I've literally just packed them now. Pick me up on the way. Stoke's down the road. We'll be at Manchester Airport. We'll go now, shall we?
I think it's a plan. Just one of those. Every time I talk about it, every time I'm with Arjun, watch the J Mcdonald TV show. It just is, it's magical, isn't it? It's just that bucket list. We haven't been away for a while, and it's just everything that you'd want to do if you wanted to visit India.
It is, and Arjun, it's amazing to have you here this evening, all the way live from India. So if anybody's got any questions, guys, he's yours now. Just ask away with questions. We have had some questions come in during the presentation, which we'll ask shortly. But Arjun, it's magical, it's beautiful. It's like, I'm in tears. I've got my wine and I've got a little tear coming down my eye. It's just like, wow, it really is a wow moment just watching that. So when you're actually there, it must be even more magical.
Totally, Martin. I'm so happy I managed to kind of break through the screen and shake you and wake you up there and say, come to India, come see this incredible place. I mean, we've got fantastic food every day in all the places we go to, the great sights you see along the way, and really traveling with great friends, for local friends and friends in your group in a boutique, intimate way. To see India is such a privilege in this way, to stay in the best accommodation, see the best sights, and to go on the holy Ganges for a sail, to do sunrise yoga. I mean, that's really something which you do once in a lifetime, and that really is just fantastic. Yeah.
Just when you were talking, and one of the things that I found, and I thought that's really going to be an amazing thing to do, is actually to watch the sunrise at the Taj Mahal and the sunset as well. That's just going to be, the pictures are just going to be memories to keep forever. But I mean, how many times have you done that, Arjun?
I think every time I've done it, it feels like the first time, really, because it's the Taj Mahal is, from the pictures, of course, you see it and it looks like a monument and it looks, it looks nice, it's white and it's shiny. But when you're in there in person, it's more the feeling you get, the sensation, than the actual sight of the place itself. There's some sort of dynamism you feel there. And as you're walking through the landscape gardens there and you see the beautiful monument there, you really stop and reflect. And I think that's really the beauty of this monument, that it's, the reason why it's the monument to love is really, yes, it's bricks and mortar, but it's that passion that was put into the mortar to memorialize a woman of great love for the man who built it for her. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, Dawn, we go back a long way, and I think we're practically sisters, brother and sister, aren't we? We've been that around that long. I mean, why? I mean, over river cruising, what would you say is the difference between river cruising and ocean cruising, and why should people choose, to go on a river cruise through the Ganges and things like that?
Well, yeah, we do go back a long way. Martin, you've booked my holiday. Now, you know that I'm going on ocean cruise in August. But, I love ocean cruising. River cruising is different. It's more intimate. The ships are smaller. You get to make friends. So you get on board, and you know what it's like when you first get on. You're saying hi to people, maybe have a drink with them. And then those friends over the next few days, because you're seeing them all the time, they become, you go in your groups together. And then quite a lot of the times, lifelong friends. I love meeting up with our past guests that have said, oh, we went on a cruise and then we met some friends and then we booked another Uniworld cruise and we're going together. I think in a river cruise, you get up and personal. There's no tenders, you're going right into the heart. So on this cruise, on this river cruise, you're so close to everything. Every time you wake up, you've got that view, and there's nothing better than being on the sun deck. And Marty, you know that I like a gin and tonic.
I'm with you on that.
Absolutely, an Arjun, even though he's give it up. Being up there with a book, maybe a gin and tonic, and just watching the world go by. It's just, and each way that you look, it's different scenery. You wake up, it's different scenery. It's just fabulous, and everything is there. You don't have to think about anything. So we were saying as we've gone through the presentation, your drinks are included, your tours. It's tailor-made as well. If you and I, Martin, were going on this cruise, we might not want to do the same excursion. One of us might want to stay on board, but actually, you might want to do a different excursion to me. So it's tailor-made. So it's just a fantastic way of being able to explore India. Maybe you wouldn't necessarily do it on your own, because you wouldn't want to miss anything. That's the reason, because this has everything in the Golden Triangle. And then, just small, intimate, and it's like, imagine you're the best hotel that you could stay in India, but it's floating along and you're floating boutique hotel. So I know I've talked too much there on a small question that you asked me, but I could talk forever about it if I'm honest. It's just, imagine you one pack once and it's your floating hotel.
That's it. You're like me. You've got a passion for cruising, whether it's ocean or river, and we could talk for hours and hours. And Arjun, I'm sure you can talk about the Ganges too for hours and hours, because the ship is just amazing. We have had a couple of questions. One you've just answered, Dawn, was about it was from Tina actually, and her question was, is alcohol included in the cost of the cruise, including spirits? So it is included, you said, wasn't it?
It is. It's local spirits that are included.
We have wonderful local Indian spirits, wines, beverages we serve on board. We have wonderful red, white, sparkling wines from acclaimed Indian vineyards, Sulla and Grover. We have wonderful Indian gin, Indian brandy as well. And these are all really, well received and delicious on board. And we have wonderful cocktails as well, which we fuse them in. So you can have your normal gin and tonic, but also one with a cafe lime gin and tonic, for example. Or you can have your dark and stormy, or you can have your Kulna spice with different tamarind juice and different ginger and other things. So that we have some wonderful options for different Indian flavors as well, mixed in with the cocktail. So you can do a little bit of experimentation really as well.
Oh, brilliant.
But then there's soft drinks as well, and there's specialist coffees as well. Arjun was saying when we were talking about a few days ago, because I like coffee, baristas, staff on board are baristas, so you could have coffees or freshly squeezed juices. So there's something for everybody.
All our tea and coffee is organic Indian, and we have wonderful iced teas, also regular teas, iced coffees and regular coffees, doppio and cafe latte, and a wide variety of. So really, it's kind of people always use posh words when they come to tea and coffee, just like wine, they say terroir and all these things. But really, you can taste India through these different flavors of all the different aspects of the onboard service. Also, the meals we serve as well, the wonderful local fresh cuisine. Is really something which you get to experience, and on the ship being in such an intimate environment, the crew can be more flexible how you like the things. And one of the things people always ask me is about the spice. It's always going to be really hot and spicy, and I say no, that's not the purpose of spice. Spice is to blend the flavor, to really accentuate the ingredients you're using. And so that's really how the food is on board really there. So don't worry about too much chili or hotness there really.
Well, there's a cooking class as well, or cooking class that you can actually, while you're on board as well, you know, you can learn to cook on board at the same time.
So,
Yeah,
Arjun,
I mean, yeah.
oh, sorry, I was interrupting you then. Sorry, Arjun, stop you mid-flow.
As Dawn said, there's a lot of different activities on board to really understand the culture through whether it's the henna mehendi design, whether it's traditional dancing, how the traditional clothes are worn, and really to also ask questions which you want to know about the nitty-gritty of the local people and culture, which you may not necessarily normally ask. But so that's really quite interesting to have that privileged access into that insight into local culture.
Amazing. One question that's been asked and from Elizabeth was, what are the temperatures like on the dates we've got our exclusive special offers on?
That's a great question. So India, of course, is known to be a hot and sunny country, but actually in the winter it can be quite cool. And so really you need to plan for temperatures perhaps as low as, for example, on the Golden Triangle section, perhaps around 10 degrees or so at the lowest, and perhaps around 25 degrees in the highest. So you should really plan for that sort of range of temperatures. The daytime maybe t-shirt weather, but in the evening you might have a light jacket or a fleece, for example, depending on how you are. Kolkata in the east of the country, it's a little bit warmer, so maybe it might be 5 degrees warmer, but really that's the sort of range you'd be looking at, between sort of 5 and 10 degrees and 25 degrees. So really, in terms of clothing, you know, pack warm, comfortable clothing, nice, comfortable shoes for exploring the different places. And if there are any particular restrictions for clothing, those will be mentioned in the program. And usually it's for religious places. So there you would sort of, you would take your shoes off, and in place you can wear socks or go barefoot if you like. And usually it's preferred that the shoulders and knees should be covered if you're going into those places. But those you'll be told well in advance and be well aware of those sorts of things. So not to worry, we're right with you every step of the way.
That's good. That's good to know, because as you say, like Dawn said before, if you go and do these things on your own, you wouldn't know these things necessarily. So having the guide and people like yourselves, you know, being a chief inspiration officer, telling you this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do in the next few days, it's great. So you can plan your trip, whereas you normally wouldn't know that. Another question that we've had, sorry guys, the questions are coming in, it's great.
Oh, good.
Which is what this is all about. It's about bringing like India to your home. You know, you can't go out and research anywhere else. And what better way than having somebody from India with us? Somebody asked about the trips. I'm just trying to find a question actually. It was our lovely Tina again. She's really keen on this trip, I must admit. Where's she gone? It was about the trips. Now, do you have to pre-book the trips when you're on board and on the tour and things, or is it everybody goes together and everybody does the same thing? I think, Dawn, you said you can do separate things, didn't you, I think, before?
Yeah. Do you want to answer, Arjun, or do you want me?
So normally in the program, Martin, all the excursions are included there, and essentially you could choose to go on them or not. So, for example, if you didn't want to go to Taj Mahal a second time, although you could stay in the hotel and use the swimming pool there and rest, relax. But really, there's only a couple of optional excursions. One is in Delhi in the afternoon, and the optional excursion to the bazaar in Jaipur, as well as in Agra for the marble inlay work. So those are sort of optional there. With the one in Delhi being a separate excursion, which is pre-bookable essentially. Otherwise, all the excursions are included. And so it really depends on the day, but most people generally prefer to go along with the normal excursions, which are there. I can see another question here about do we have to wear a mask at all times as well? So really, as we all know, the situation with coronavirus globally is quite a fluid situation. And so we're constantly assessing the requirements to keep everyone safe, really. And so it's something which we're looking at, and it's something which we're assessing in our protocols how to do, although we've not made any decisions on that yet. So.
That's good to know. And I think we covered it in the presentation, but yeah, there is entertainment on the ship, and it's immersing yourself in India, isn't it? So the people that come on board, it's all about the culture and the history. So, you know, it's not big all singing, all dancing West End shows you may have found on big cruise ships, but it's actually learning about the culture, the architecture, and life in India. So, would you say that was right, Arjun?
Definitely. So we have in Delhi, for example, we have a wonderful private dinner, which is a quiet introductory dinner in a private venue just to get to know each other and have a couple of drinks together. In Jaipur, we have a wonderful I won't spoil it, but we have a wonderful evening in the hotel, in a private villa on one side of the hotel, with some local entertainment, some traditional dances of the desert culture. And then on board the ship, we have a local dance troupe, which comes, a small troupe of about, depending on about 7 to 10 people. And they, again, do different regional and local styles of dance on the ship. And the best part is, you have to join it at the end, Martin. So when I see you on board, you have to be dancing at the very front at the end.
Now, Dawn, do you think I'm too shy for that?
I don't think Martin would. I don't think it's his kind of thing. He'll be right at the front, leading. He'll have to join the group.
Yeah,
and you may never come home.
Yeah, I'll probably want to wear the outfit. I'll really immerse myself and really get into it. You know what I'm like, Dawn. You know, so
Enjoy it.
It's just that's what this sort of trip is about, isn't it? It's a bucket list trip that is. You're going to do it once. I think we've said it many times while we've been talking over the last couple of weeks. You're going to do it once, but these memories are going to live with you forever. You know, you probably have that picture on your mantelpiece, or you'll have it on, you know, on your portal or whatever it is flashing through, and it'll be like, oh, do you remember when we went to Taj Mahal? Do you remember when we had that dinner with the family in India? And that's going to live with you forever. And that's what this is about tonight. It's bringing that to everybody. So, I mean, I think Jane Mcdonald, you mentioned Jane, and I think, well, I keep saying she's queen of the airwaves at the moment, and she's on every afternoon, I'm sure of it, and of an evening, and I'm sure she's on somewhere in the middle of the night, I'm sure of it. But she's done so much for cruising, whether that be ocean or river. When she was on board the Ganges too, have you got any stories, Arjun, from any of the staff you could share, or is it all top secret?
I mean, I think, as you can see from the program, Jane had a fantastic time on the whole program. She really enjoyed it, and the staff really loved to be with her as well. And she really brought a certain passion and flair to the cruise, and everyone was so proud to be able to showcase that we have such a wonderful experience of India, to show it to people that India has a different side, a side which is not well known, and that you can access that quite easily through it in this program in this way.
And I think she sort of, well, she just brings it to life, doesn't she? You know, she's the gift that keeps on giving for the travel industry. But when she went to India and she went to the Taj Mahal, she cried, didn't she? You know, it was emotional for her. And I think what I'd say about Jane, you know, when I've met her, is she is a real northern lady. You know, very personable. When she's on the ship, she mixes with people as well, you know, when she's doing the show. So she is, what you see is what you get. She's fabulous.
So, Dawn, pick me up now. I want to go. I'm even emotional now just talking about it. I've not done it, but I really want to. And I'm sure when Stan hears about this, I'm sure Stan will be like, let's go, let's do it, you know. And it is one of them. You look and you think the price and you think, oh, hang on. But then when you look at what you're getting for that value, and you did that with an ocean cruise or another cruise line, you'd be like, well, I'd pay X amount for my trips, X amount for my drinks, and then all the inclusions are there. So, but the price, I think, when you factor that in, is amazing, you know. And as I say, I mean, I'll just put the offers back up. Or I can't believe we've got offers, you know. There's the 5th of December this year, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's got a one-way business class upgrade free until 28th of February. Book now.
Those prices are exclusive to you, so people won't get that anywhere else.
They won't get it anywhere else, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, you've heard that here, guys. That price you will not get anywhere else. But if you do want to do 2022, there is that offer there for the 21st of February of 4,997. Guys, this is an amazing deal, and it's just out of this world. Now, I mean, Dawn, I mean, as I say, we go back a long time, and you know what you know, Uniworld. I think you're going to be my Jane Mcdonald, because I think you're coming up 3 times in the next week or so, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Different little presentations we're bringing to everybody. But what's new for Uniworld? What's been going on behind the scenes? And
so, because we have a really strong loyalty base, people come with us again and again, and it's all about the staff. Why do people come back? They come back for the itineraries. All the ships are different, and really it's the staff, because it's like so welcoming when you get on board. It's like coming home. So it's where do we take our customers? Where's the journey next? So Egypt, which is selling really well, and the Amazon, Machu Picchu. An unusual one. You won't hear that very often. Very, very small ship. Only there's only a few people that are on board, but the Amazon Machu Picchu is the big new one for us. Wow. We've got the new ship in Italy as well, in Venice. She should have launched this year. She's still waiting for all of us to get on board and give her some love. La Venezia super ship. So yeah, there's lots of nice things coming from Uniworld. Well,
I mean, I love Uniworld. I mean, I love all our partners out there. There's a ship for everybody, and there's an itinerary for everybody right out there, whatever you want to do. I mean, just going back to our lovely Jane, where can people see this trip with Jane and Arjun? I don't think they need to, because you brought it to life better than what Jane did. I mean, she showed a few bits in a 45-minute show and things, but you really brought it to life for people this evening. I looked at it with Jane and I was like, oh, well, it looks all right, But tonight you've really ignited, I want to do this, and I hope everybody else is probably feeling the same. But Dawn, where can we find Jane at the moment? Look up.
Well, you can see Jane on Catch Up. So it was a 2-part special that she actually did. And Arjun and I were talking about this the other day, actually, weren't we? We get asked about how can we see it. So if you went on My5 and on Catch Up, you can scroll through, and then you can either look at, on your laptop or on your smart TV via Sky, and you can pick Jane Mcdonald cruising on the Ganges.
Fabulous. Well, guys, what I must say is, I know it's evening time, but Arjun, I mean, to have you come this evening all the way from India, thank you very much. This is the relationship we have with people like Dawn, that we can bring these things to you. And Arjun, for you to come and do that, I really do appreciate it. And I can't wait to meet you on board the Ganges too. And we will have that gin and tonic and that cocktail. I mean, Dawn will be with me by my side, and we do love our gins, don't we?
Absolutely. And just thank you to you. Thank you to you for the invite and some great questions. Really, and if there's any more afterwards, let us know and we'll answer them.
Of course, that's it. And that's what it's all about. That's why I bring this to you guys, is so you can speak to the people that are out there, that they will tell you exactly how it is and what you need to do. It's been absolutely amazing this evening. I did say at the beginning, I was, all through the week, get a glass of wine. I've had a glass of wine. I've been drinking it here. But guys, thank you for tuning in this evening. I know it has been a bit of a long one, but do you know what? We couldn't have got that into any shorter space of time, I don't think, because there was so much information to get out there. Guys, it's been a pleasure this evening, as always, coming to your sofa series. This has been a very special edition. As you know, we have lots coming up over the next few weeks. In fact, I think you probably see me put out on Facebook today. We're booked up till the middle of March now. So lots and lots coming up, including the lovely Dawn has got another two shows she's doing with us very soon. Guys, as always, if you have any other questions, pop them in the comments or email me and I'll certainly have a look at it. Tune in for our next one, which is tomorrow. All the details of the events are all over on Facebook. Give me a call for anything you need. It's 0161 735 0112, and I'll be here to help you out. Guys, thank you for this evening. I really do appreciate all your time. Dawn, Arjun, thank you
so much. Thank you so much, everyone. It's really been a pleasure. Look forward to seeing everyone on board to see this incredible India, really.
I think we might have to do it. We'll get a group, Dawn, we'll get a group. We'll all go.
Absolutely. I can feel it coming already. Absolutely.
Brilliant. All right, take care, guys, and thank you for tuning in. As always, we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.